Uh, in the next slide, you will see an introduction of why these theories were actually needed. About Rostow, I'll give you a couple of slides so that you understand that exactly what was the background, why he gave this theory. That's very important. See, it's written over here, the word geographer, it does not start with economist. So geographers often seek to categorize places using a scale of development frequently, dividing nations into developed and developing, and first world and third world, and core and periphery. All of these labels are based on judging a country development, but this raises a question. Now, the problem with the development economics is, or the concept of development is that some countries are way ahead in terms of development, and there is a gap, there is a unequal gap between these forward countries and these backward countries. Now, what makes as these distinctions, which is written in front of you, developed and developing, and core and periphery, and first world and third world, the main question arises is actually what is the criteria, who's judging them, and what is the criteria of stating any country or putting any country in any such category. So hence the next question crops up. Not only the criteria is actually under question, what exactly does it mean to be developed, and why have some countries, as I said, developed while others have not? It seems we all of the country have a population, the country have the natural resources, all of the country, most of the countries have all these things. Then how come some have developed tremendously in terms of per capita income, or there is a development happening at the even at the you can say a capital front, but some countries have really remained behind. Since the beginning of the 20th century, geographers and those involved with the vast field of development studies have sought to answer this question, and in the process have come up with many different models to explain this phenomena. Again, I'm pointing out to the fact that geographers is written over here, not economists. See, the reason why geographers is written over here because geographers are concerned with not only a geography of a particular country or a boundary of a particular country. Geographers are those people who actually go ahead, go beyond those boundaries, and these are the people who actually research in the core areas of a country. So geographers and economists are mostly interdependent faculties or interdependent disciplines. And hence the word geographers and not economists. Because once you say economist, it seems that the person is only concerned with the economy of the country. But actually, geographer is a different branch altogether. Next slide. So having said all these two things, you will realize that further people who came or gave the models tried to answer these questions. I think there was some other slide. Okay, yeah. Uh, can I have a third slide? After that, I'll come to this one. Next slide. Give me next slide. I'll come to this one. Yes. Uh, this slide should have been there. One of the key thinkers in 20th century development studies was W. W. Rostow. So you can write the complete name, W. W. Rostow. He's an American economist and government official. So American and government official give you a picture that how deeply involved and political person he was. So this is the backdrop of Rostow. So prior to Rostow, approaches to development had been based on assumption that modernization, as is written over here, was characterized by Western world. Now, wealthier, more powerful countries at the time, which were able to advance from the initial stages of underdevelopment. Accordingly, other countries should, model themselves after the West. That was the general idea. But the आज भी वो idea ही है that you should actually become best. That's what everybody is rushing towards, become West. The westernization or the modernization is not only in terms of a value system, but it is also in terms of the economic system. Whatever system they are following, it seems every model more or less in development economics, also points out to the fact that, see, this is the goal, this is where you are supposed to reach, this is, they are the ones, and every country wants to, match them. So that's why certain where accordingly other countries should model themselves after the West, aspiring to a modern state of capitalism again, because economic system what they are following is capitalism. Doesn't matter how exploitative in nature that system is, but because that seems to be the model, that seems to be the in thing. So after Second World War, it seems so the modernization meant westernization, and westernization meant capitalism. So modernization, westernization, capitalism is the key to become developed. That's the core line. And liberal democracies, yes, two things go hand in hand. The economic ideology should be capitalism, and if you want to be free and developed, then you should have a liberal democracy. Can't have anarchy, can't have dictatorship. Mm, you should have democracy. That's what America always said. Even if you don't follow it, they will thrust it down your throat. So the democracy, and that not to that not any democracy they are talking about. They are talking about liberal democracy. If you will Google this term liberal democracy, there are many different concepts that will come in front of you. That means liberalization in terms of various things, not just economy. It's a liberal democracy is a total different ballgame altogether. Using these ideas, Rostow penned his classic Stages of Economic Growth in 1960, which presented 5 steps through which all countries must pass to become developed. These were his 5 stages. It's written over here. You can write it down in your copies. We'll discuss it one by one. Traditional society, precondition to take off, drive to maturity, and age of high mass consumption. So, traditional society is first stage, precondition to take off, then drive to maturity, and age of high mass consumption. We will discuss this one by one. So traditional society, precondition to take off, drive to maturity, and age of high mass consumption. 5 stages given by a person who was very, very politically involved. Can I have next slide? In the next slide, you will see that all these 5 stages were given by a person. As I said, he was heavily involved. Uh, um, he Rostow was actually a person before coming to that. Rostow was actually a person who worked for um, John F. Kennedy. He was a staff member of John F. Kennedy. This you will see in the next slide. He was in the administration of John F. Kennedy. Rostow was in administration of John F. Kennedy, which made him a very, very political worker. Rostow was fairly anti-communist. That's what you should know. He was fiercely anti-communist and a right wing. You have to understand that as an economist and as a person, educated person, we expect that you should have some kind of an ideology. Now, who are these people who have these ideology? It's not that necessarily you should have any ideology. You can even be a ideological person. That means a person who do not have any ideology. Now, that is not because you are ignorant, but because you choose not to have any ideology. Anyway, there are two types of a general economic ideology and a political ideology exist in this world. As it's written over there, that Rostow was fiercely anti-communist, which means either you are a capitalist, but believe in capitalist system, or you are a communist, believes in Russian system. And now communism and Russia and capitalism is always, head to head. They always have a cutthroat competition between them to acquire the world, to control the world. And he was an anti-communist, a hardcore anti-communist and right wing. Right wing are the people who have a very staunch and a fanatic thinking in terms of they are not very liberal people. Like in America, right wing means totally very religious people politically. They are anti-abortion. They are anti, there are many. They are anti LGBTQ community. So they don't believe on that. They are staunch follower of the either a Catholic or a mostly Catholic. And if you're living in USA, you are like a Trump, but Trump is very, as you can see every day, Trump is not only, I don't know what is the ideology, I cannot understand whether he's anti-communist or not, because he has never criticized Russia, but anyway, he's a right-wing person who you can see, is very much against all these LGBTQ concepts and Black Lives Matters, and they don't believe in all that. They have a very simple concept that the America is made for Americans, and not only Americans, white Americans. Anything else is actually a dent into the America's democracy. So that is why he is very much against even immigration. So that's what Rostov was all about. So Rostov modeled this area, as you can see, after Western capitalist countries, which had industrialized and urbanized, industrialized and urbanization. यही उसका solution है कि अगर डेवलपमेंट करना है तो पहले तो एंटी कम्युनिस्ट हो जाइए. तो आप देखिए है ही शुरू से पॉलिटिकल है. As a staff member, as I said, he was a staff member of John F. Kennedy administration. Rostov promoted his development model as a part of US foreign policy. तो जो प्रेसिडेंट की फॉरेन पॉलिसी थी उसके हिसाब से इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी चल रही थी. Foreign policy कह रही थी that every because John F. Kennedy was came when there was a beginning of the Cold War. So and hence anti-communism was in at that time. Anti-communism and right wing was faced by left wing people. Left wing people, as I say, are generally liberal people. Believe in all the freedom in the world. Every freedom in the world is actually comes under the wing of left wing. Anyway, so Rostov model illustrates a desire not only to assist lower income countries in the development process, but also to assert the United States influence over that of a communist Russia. So this is the backdrop of Rostov. Every economist has a backdrop. Every economist has a bench. Every economist is not free from stereotypes or biases. So this is my suggestion to you. Whenever you study economics, please study the biases and the stereotypes underlying that particular theory. Only then you will be able to understand why this person is saying what this person is saying. Nobody actually talks in isolation. जो आप जहाँ grow up होते हैं ना वो चीज़ it's there imprinted in your brain, it's there in your mind. Now if you come to India and you are an economist, you sure do believe in some right wing or some left wing. I don't know what kind of ideologies people have. Probably nothing right now. Right now for you wrong is wrong and right is right, I guess, but I don't know what kind of ideology, but ideology means these things. So when you will grow as a person and when you will grow as an economist, you will be taking sides. You do take sides right now also. You do think particular things are right, probably for you and for your group where you belong, and you do think that other group is wrong for whatever reasons. So when you state these judgments that somebody is right and somebody is wrong, and you are taking stand at the political views and you are taking stand at what is happening at the political level, you are absolutely taking sides. And when you are taking sides, that means this is what you have in mind. Either you are a right wing or you are a left wing. The basic purpose of these theories is not very innocent. Not just to give theory. He was not just an person as I said, working in isolation. Even Einstein was not working in isolation. Even Newton was not working in isolation. So every smart person or every person who has worked on any science and has given something that has changed the face of this world have had some bent, and they did had some agenda in mind. So these agendas have to be realized in development economics, because development economics are not so innocent. So even if this is the one of the best models till today, Rostov stages is taken by many countries, and they do follow these steps also. But still, the agendas are very clear behind these economists. So hence, a couple of economists that belong to Cambridge School of Thought have their agenda. A couple of economists who have the Oxford School of Thought comes from there. Indians do not have any say, although it's such a big community. You must have realized that no economic or no economic institution of ours have any say in any, even our political ideologies do not match with others, because our political ideology right now it's a right wing, sometimes it's left wing, so it depends. Some people call it a right wing, some people call it as you know uh, um, pseudo political things. So there are different aspects to what do you believe and what should you believe. Now we will go back in the slides, and I'd like you to go to the second slide. This is the second slide. So there are 5 stages in Rostov stages of development, as it says: traditional and precondition and drive to maturity and takeoff and all that. Develop this theory based on model. Traditional society, as written over here, is characterized by subsistence agricultural based economy with intensive labor and low level of trading. The purpose of giving these stages of Rostov was to basically tell people who were making a policy that, see, every country passes through these kind of phases. These are phases. So if you want to jump from a traditional to precondition to take off, follow these things. Follow capitalism, follow modernization, follow industrialization, follow capitalization. So these kind of things. As you can see, in the traditional stage, everything is very traditional and low level of trading in a population that does not have a scientific perspective on the world and technology, period. So people who are living in the rural areas, even in our country, can be qualified outcome under this particular society. Then there are many theories to even say that there are parallel economies also exist in the country. Like parallel, as some may be in some other phase, some corner of the country could be in another phase, some corner of the country, within the country, they can exist these kinds of stages. But anyway, we'll take a country as a whole. But this is also possible, which are known as dual economies. The concept of dual economy is also there in development economics. So dual economy is like once on the rural areas there might be a traditional society going on. In urban areas, it might be in a age of high mass consumption or drive to maturity. So this is within the country. But because Rostro did talk about dual economies, this is we'll take it as a country as a whole. Yes, Sanskriti, what did you wanted to add to this? संस्कृति इसमें क्या ऐड करना, हाँ बताइए।
मैम मैं भी बस यही बताने वाली थी, मतलब थोड़ा सा क्लियर था, पहले पढ़ा है तो
पढ़ा है, हाँ थोड़ा सा और ऐड करो, इसको थोड़ा समझाओ।
मतलब एक ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटी होती है जहाँ पे लोग जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज होती है उनके लिए या जो अनडेवलप्ड कंट्रीज होती है वहाँ पे होती है।
ओके।
लाइक वहाँ पे एग्रीकल्चर
हाँ
बेस्ड इकोनॉमी होती है जैसा
हाँ।
और लेबर इंटेंसिव होती है, पॉपुलेशन वहाँ पे टेक्निकल चीज़ों का ज़्यादा यूज नहीं होता है। और फिर वो प्री कंडीशन ऑफ टेक ऑफ, मतलब जब वो एक डेवलप्ड कंट्री के उसमें आते हैं तो जो टेक ऑफ करते हैं वो कंडीशन आती है जहाँ पे थोड़ा बहुत टेक्निकल चीज़ें आ जाती है, मैन्युफैक्चर ज़्यादा अच्छा होने लगता है। फिर उसके बाद आती है ड्राइव टू मैच्योर।
उसके बाद
नो
टेक
मैम,
ऑफ।
टेक ऑफ जहाँ पर मतलब वो कंट्री पूरी डेवलप्ड कंट्री हो जाती है, लाइक अमेरिका एंड ये सब। मैम उसके बाद ड्राइव टू टेक ऑफ।
यस, उसके बाद राइट टू।
यस मैम।
दैट्स इट, ओके, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। यही मैं कहती कि ये शायद पहले पढ़ा होगा आप लोगों ने। Anybody else wants to add anything to this? Or should I add? Just go back, beta. Akriti, go back. Traditional stage has various other characteristics also apart from that, and it's not belong to traditional stage, do not belong to any particular country. What happens is every country goes through this. So it's not a developed or underdeveloped country concept. According to Rostow, every country goes through these stages. So even USA have experienced traditional society. But that traditional society period, that is a period or a duration, was it was decades back. as compared to what we are experiencing right now. So there is a difference of, let's say, 100 and 150 years of stages between USA and India. I'll just explain USA and India. So traditional society, as you can see, is a very as you can see, it's a very society that do not have much to offer in terms of modernization. It's just as you can say, a traditional society, and population over here is also not very much educated. So there is a little lack of literacy also in traditional society. Focus is on economic activities and such as farming and extraction industries. ये शुरू की इंडस्ट्रीज में फोकस होता है इसमें, बहुत शुरू में तो इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन नहीं होगा. It's only mining and harvesting of timber और farming, ये सब चीज़ें economic activity में होती हैं. So and of course people are very resistant to scientific temperament or scientific technology. They are very resistant to that. Ranging from giving a pulse polio, we have faced a resistance in our country till today. We cannot give a pulse polio drop to a people stating that देखिए ये सरकार ने आपके लिए चलाया है. People still resist on various grounds. We all know that. So not touching all those factors, but the mindset, as I did said, that is the mindset of a population is not in isolation with its surrounding. So traditional society, please इसको economic activity याद रखिएगा. Initial economic activities of farming, mining, and timber. Then there is of course a precondition to take off. Precondition to take off is a situation in which he said that, see, you have two ways to develop your economy. The first is you can do a lot of investment, and that investment will be done like in one go. So much investment should be done that the economy should take a leap to take off. And if you do not have that kind of a capital or a money at your disposal, then you cannot do that. So in precondition to take off, he said that, okay, if you do not have that much of capital, you should have follow these stages. So please write the features of precondition for takeoff. I will expand it here. You just write these features. The first feature is importance to non-agricultural sectors. Now it starts. पहले agricultural था, अब non-agricultural sectors को importance मिलेगी. So importance to non-agricultural sectors like industry, transport, trade, services आ जाती हैं शुरू की शुरुआती services जो कि integrated होती है manufacturing sector से. Service sector alone does not work in a precondition to take off. Services sector is there as a residual of the manufacturing sector in precondition to take off, and hence whatever services exist in the precondition to take off are, as I said, are a residual of manufacturing sector. इसका मतलब ये है कि जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर को जिन सर्विसेज की जरूरत पड़ेगी बस सिर्फ वही है, वही एग्जिस्ट करती है. सो इंडस्ट्री, ट्रांसपोर्ट, ट्रेड के बिना कुछ हो नहीं सकता, इसलिए ट्रांसपोर्ट डेवलप होता है, ट्रेड डेवलप होता है. और इसमें लिख लीजिए एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन सर्विसेज, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, इस तरीके की सर्विसेज डेवलप होती है. एनीवे इंपॉर्टेंस टू नॉन एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर शुरू हो जाता है. प्रीकंडीशन टू टेक ऑफ का सेकंड फीचर है एक्सपेंशन ऑफ सोशल ओवरहेड कैपिटल. Expansion of social overhead capital. Social overhead capital meaning social overhead capital means infrastructure. So the government spends a part of their income in spreading infrastructure, that is social overhead capital. Social overhead capital government spend करने लगती है जैसे कि railways, roads, hospitals, dams, schools, colleges, etc. So the government spends a part of our income in spreading infrastructure. So you can write various things: railroads, hospitals, dam, schools, colleges, etc. ये है social precondition to take off के दो features. तीसरा feature है new ideology. The dogmatic views are replaced by new ideas. New ideology, people start experiencing new ideology. People start giving way to new ideology. Now, this ideology can both be at the political and the economical front. and they start, giving way to new ideas. Then, of course, fourth is technological advancement. So not only dogmas are broken, but technological advancement is also there. Technological advancement means technological development can be seen in this stage. Technological development can be seen in this stage, due to which there is increased capital formation. Due to which there is increased capital formation. So this is a technological advancement that can be seen in this stage, due to which there is increased capital formation. As a result, investment level is always shown upward trend. As a result, investment picture में आ जाता है. So as a result, investment level also shows upward trend. As a result, investment level also shows upward trend. तो investment picture में आएगा तो कितना investment करना है कि economy should be in the take off stage, उसको भी उन्होंने एक percentage बताई थी. I'll let you know. Then another feature of the precondition to take off is exports and imports. The country starts, experimenting along these lines also. That is in trade, and basically exports जो होते हैं जिन चीज़ों के वो है finished goods, capital goods, and machinery. In fact, these things are imported, not exported. क्योंकि शुरुआत होती है country की development की, so they require all these things which they cannot produce in their own country. So finished goods, capital goods, and machinery की शुरुआत में, that is a precondition to take off में बहुत demand होती है. So finished goods, capital goods, and machinery are imported, and raw material, minerals, and semi-finished goods are exported. Raw material, minerals, and semi-finished goods are exported. So you will realize that there seems to be this particular stage you will see in India's in 40s and 50s and 60s. We were doing this. We were actually exporting finished goods and capital goods, and we were importing minerals and semi-finished goods. These were the things we were exporting. Then another feature is rate of savings and investment. As I said, he did said that these are the two important things, because जितना rate of saving होगा वही convert करेगा investment में. So Rostow also gave that rate of saving has to be there, and he gave the percentage also. He said the rate of saving and investment during this stage are likely to be under 5%. This is what he said. He said कि इतना नहीं अभी हो पाता है शुरुआत में. So the rate of saving and investment during this stage are likely to be under 5% of the net national product in economy. Of the net national product in economy का 5%. NNP का 5%. ये saving और investment rate होता है precondition to take off का. So ये याद रखिएगा. This is an important number. 5% of the NNP. Next feature. I hope this is the seventh feature. Stress on development of transport. As I said, transport, because शुरुआत में services उस तरीके की होती है ज़रूरी जो कि accessibility और linkage बनाए. तो इसलिए stress on development of transport and communication. Transport भी होना चाहिए, communication भी होना चाहिए, बहुत important है. तो ट्रांसपोर्ट एंड कम्युनिकेशन ये बहुत जल्दी डेवलप होता है शुरुआत में. नेक्स्ट फीचर, डेमोग्राफिकली भी चेंजेस आते हैं. डेमोग्राफी जो होती है, डेमोग्राफिक जो थियरी है वो कहती है ना शुरू में देयर इज इंक्रीज इन द डेथ रेट, बर्थ रेट. Then in the second stage there is a increase in the birth rate but decline in the death rate, and in the third stage both decline. But in this stage, what happens is in the precondition to take off, you can write the next feature: decline in birth rate. तो ये भी एक feature है. Birth rate decline कर जाता है. So this is mainly because people start getting educated, and they don't need the people that start earning more also. So when one individual is earning more, they don't need that much of offspring to hands उनको उतने नहीं चाहिए होते हैं income बढ़ाने के लिए. So that is why the population also starts reducing. And Then there is one more, conservatism खत्म होता है, unnecessary conservatism also comes to an end, and the people are, changes in views of the people, as I said. The people are becoming, they become more, they think that the appropriate utilization of the resources is very important, and when the population starts thinking like that, then whatever they have, they start optimizing the utilization of those things. So whatever resource if the individual has, if the individual do not waste those resources and start utilizing it to the optimum optimization, that also helps. It helps to, at a country level, at a macro level. Individual just don't know that. So ये सारे features हैं जो कि प्री कंडीशन टू टेक ऑफ की हैं. सो इस सबको लिख लीजिएगा. नेक्स्ट इज takeoff stage. This is a very, very important stage, takeoff stage. Rostow described this stage as a short period of intensive growth in which industrialization began to occur and workers and institutions become concentrated around a new industry. So एक ये है और एक है drive to maturity. Drive to maturity में लिखा हुआ है long period of time, standard of living rise, use of technology increases and the national economy grows and diversifies. Takeoff is a different thing altogether. Takeoff is very different from pre-condition to takeoff. Takeoff is not only just a period of intensive growth and industrialization. It's an economy that is liberalized in many ways. So takeoff के अपनी stages हैं. उन stages में इसको लिखिएगा. Takeoff stages में सबसे पहले लिखिएगा. इट्स अ सेल्फ सस्टेन ग्रोथ की तरफ एक तो होती है टेक ऑफ स्टेज. सेल्फ सस्टेन ग्रोथ पहला फीचर होता है टेक ऑफ का. दे ट्राई टू हैव अ सेल्फ सस्टेन ग्रोथ, तो हम सब कुछ कर सकें, दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. सो another feature of the takeoff is there is this diagram given in which they have given the period of takeoffs. So if you want to write, I'll give you 3 countries the period of takeoff. USA period of takeoff is 1843 to 1860. USA 1843 to 1860. 1843 to 1860 is a USA condition to take off. Oh, sorry, period to take off. Now you will realize the difference between us and them, because India's period of takeoff is 1952. Ours is 1952. There was USA was 1843 to 1860. Then what do you want to know? Then there is a Germany period of takeoff the same year, same decade in fact, 1850 to 1873. मतलब 19th सेंचुरी में ही हो गया इन लोग का, और हम लोग का 20th सेंचुरी में हुआ. तो सेंचुरीज का डिफरेंस है बीच में. यूके का उससे भी पहले है. यूके गॉट द टेक ऑफ स्टेज इन 1783 to 1802. 1783 to 1802, दैट मीन्स इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन जैसे ही आया वो टेक ऑफ की स्टेज में आ गए थे. तो इसलिए इतना गैप है आपके और उनके बीच में. Although we have started imitating the consumption pattern of the West, which I always say that this is way too soon for a country who do not even have a population जिसको पूरा 2 महीने दिन का, that is 2 टाइम का खाना भी ठीक से मिल सके. इतनी मेल नरिशन और इतनी मेल न्यूट्रिशन है, इतना अंडर न्यूट्रिशन है, तो भी फिर भी there is so much poverty, but still we are trying to ape their consumption pattern. This is basically because of the ये ट्रांसपोर्टेशन और ये जो कम्युनिकेशन जो बढ़ गया, ये जो इंटीग्रेशन हो गया इकोनॉमी से, उसकी वजह से है. ये कोई फीचर नहीं है डेवलपमेंट का. ये that's what it is. It is this does not show that the country has developed as a country. This merely shows that the people, लोगों के पास जो है वो उसमें स्पेंड कर रहे हैं. जो भी एपिंग हो रही है, they are just simply spending. अच्छा, इसमें सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है रेट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट. पीछे उसने दिया था 5% प्री कंडीशन टू टेक ऑफ में. इसमें बिल्कुल ही अलग है रेट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट. सो इसमें थोड़ा सा रेट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट के बारे में लिख लीजिए. Takeoff में rate of investment plays a very important role. The self-sustained growth requires a high level of investment. Self-sustained growth requires high level of investment in an economy. ये इस टर्म में इंडिया इसीलिए इतना पीछे है. Self-sustained growth requires a high level of investment in an economy. Rostow has suggested that the rate of net investment should be over 10%. If you want development, modernization उस level का चाहिए, तो फिर west level का चाहिए. So Rostow has suggested that the rate of net investment should be over 10% of national income. If an economy is to enter the stage of self-propelling growth, that is propel हो सके, मतलब self sustain, अपने आप propel हो, external factors की जरूरत ना पड़े. So if an economy is to enter the stage of self propelling growth, इसी में लिखिएगा नेक्स्ट लाइन में, the growth in the national output should outstrip the growth of population. The growth in the national output should outstrip the growth of population. It should outstrip the growth of population. Very important. मतलब नेशनल आउटपुट पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ को पार करे. ऐसा ना हो कि ग्रोथ हो रही है पॉपुलेशन की, आपकी डेकेडल ग्रोथ चल रही है 2 से 3% और इकोनॉमी ग्रो कर रही है इससे भी कम, तो फिर बिल्कुल डिजास्टर है. So national output should outstrip the growth of population because it is only under this condition that a growth in per capita income can be achieved. Because it is only under this condition that a growth in per capita income can be achieved. तो उसके लिए उसने कैपिटल रेशियो दिए थे. So he said, if the capital rate is assumed to be 3.5:1, मतलब 3.5 कैपिटल लगे, तो कैपिटल आउटपुट रेशियो जो है should be 3.5:1. So capital output ratio is 3.5 unit of capital should generate 1 unit of output. So 3.5:1 should be the capital output ratio. And if the population growth rate is 1 to 1.5% per annum, and the population growth rate should be 1 to 1.5% per annum. हमारे यहाँ growth rate 2.2 तक गई है डेकेडल, और उसके बाद फिर नीचे आई पर एनम. ये लोग भी कह रहे हैं एनुअल ग्रोथ रेट 1 to 1.5% per annum, then at least 10.5 to 12.5% of the net national product, then at least 10.5 to 12.5% of the net national product must be invested regularly. So must be invested regularly in order to achieve 2% growth of per capita income. In order to achieve 2% growth of per capita income. Countries like India have achieved the growth rate or the GDP growth rate of 7 to 8%. So imagine the pace of our development. It can be said commendable because this boost has come from the services sector. But the entire scenario which Rostow was giving us was this, and these are the numbers. So if anybody can repeat these numbers, which I gave it to you. Anybody, please. The growth in the national output should outstrip the growth of population. यहाँ से. Have you written, anybody? Please go. Yes. Hmm. 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 Capital output ratio लिख लो यहाँ पे. Hmm. If the capital output ratio is assumed to be 3.5:1. Hmm. No, 1 to 1.5%. 1 to 1.5%. Okay. Hmm. 2% growth of per capita income. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So 2% growth of per capita income. These are the figures which we gave. So इसमें आप देख रहे हैं there is a linkage between a growth and a population growth rate. Very important factor. Then इसमें ऐड करिएगा. Professor Rostow concludes that for takeoff it is necessary. Professor Rostow concludes that for takeoff it is necessary that the rate of investment in the economy. Professor Rostow concludes that for takeoff, it is necessary that the rate of investment in the economy must rise from 5% to 10% of national income. Must rise from 5% to 10% of national income. 10% आपके national income का investment होना चाहिए. अब वो कह रहा है टेक ऑफ होगा. अब इसमें से ये पैसा आएगा कहाँ से? ये जो सारा इन्वेस्टमेंट है ये आएगा कहाँ से? तो उसके लिए उसने 4 सोर्सेज दिए थे, उसको लिख लीजिए. For attaining adequate finance for takeoff, it is necessary that. For attaining adequate finance for takeoff, it is necessary that. Adequate finance for takeoff आएगा कहाँ से? So ये सारी कंडीशन होनी चाहिए. ए लिख लीजिए. The community's surplus over consumption. The community's surplus over consumption does not flow into the hands of those who will utilize it. The community's surplus over consumption does not flow into the hands of those who will utilize it by hoarding. Who will utilize it by hoarding, luxury consumption, or low productivity investment outlays. Hoarding, luxury consumption, or low productivity investment outlays. OUT-LAYS are outlays. So this is important. He said that अगर कंजम्पशन हो रहा है तो कंजम्पशन will not automatically कंजम्पशन का जो ओवर उसके ऊपर जो बचेगा आपका that will not automatically go into the hands of the right people who will invest it. If you're going to hoard, if you're going to spend it into a luxury consumption, and if there will be a low और अपने low productivity investment outlay में उसको invest किया, तो पहला तो adequate finance बनाने के लिए इन सब चीज़ों को हटाना है. Hoarding, luxury consumption और low productivity investment outlay, ये शुरुआती स्टेज है. इसलिए बी लिखिएगा. Institution for providing cheap and adequate working capital be developed. Institutions for providing cheap and adequate working capital be developed. इसीलिए इंडिया ने इतने सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन बनाए थे. As we were talking in film, there is इतने सारे institutions हैं which give just loans for infrastructure purposes. तो ये वही है जो institutions for providing cheap and adequate working capital should be developed. That's what India did. India did follow Rostow stages also. So next. One or more sectors of the economy must grow rapidly. कोई भी एक सेक्टर unbalanced growth ही हो रही है, लेकिन one or more sectors of the economy must grow rapidly, and the entrepreneur in these sectors and the entrepreneurs in these sectors should reinvest their substantial portion of their profit to productive investment. अभी ये टाइम नहीं है रिलैक्स होने का, अभी लग्जरी का टाइम नहीं है. ही सेइंग कि जब टेक ऑफ की स्टेज है आपकी, तो one or more sectors of the economy must grow rapidly, and the entrepreneur in those sectors must invest or reinvest a substantial portion of their profit to productive investment. नॉन प्रोडक्टिव में नहीं, प्रोडक्टिव में इन्वेस्ट करने से चलेगा. प्रोडक्टिव इन्वेस्टमेंट वही है, सोशल ओवरहेड कैपिटल सबसे ज्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट उसी में होना चाहिए. और नेक्स्ट उसने कहा फॉरेन कैपिटल कैन प्रॉफिटेबली बी यूटिलाइज्ड. फॉरेन कैपिटल कैन प्रॉफिटेबली बी यूटिलाइज्ड फॉर बिल्डिंग अप social and economic overhead. Foreign capital can profitably be utilized for building up social and economic overhead. So if you are getting foreign money, don't waste it. उसको utilize करिए social और economic overhead capital बनाने के लिए. Infrastructure that means. उसके बाद ये एक और दूसरी कंडीशन है टेक ऑफ की. ये तो फाइनेंस की थी. आप लिखिए डेवलपमेंट ऑफ लीडिंग सेक्टर्स. कौन से सेक्टर्स हैं जो उसने कहा था डेवलप होने चाहिए, ये अलग से लिखिएगा. डेवलपमेंट ऑफ लीडिंग सेक्टर्स. I think this particular chapter of yours will go in a 2 lecture, so I'll finish it off with this one. Abhi leading sectors hai. The next I will continue with this one. Development of leading sectors में लिखिएगा. Another condition for take off is the development of one or more leading sectors in the economy. इसमें sectors को उसने divide किया था. पहला sector था which he used to call it primary growth sector. Primary growth sector. So according to Rostow, quote करिएगा. Primary growth sectors are those where possibilities for innovation. Primary growth sectors are those where possibilities for innovation or the exploration of newly profitable. Primary growth sectors are those where possibilities for innovation or the exploration of newly profitable avenues or the exploration of newly profitable avenues Primary growth sectors are those where possibilities for innovation or the exploration of newly profitable avenues or hitherto unexplored resources yield a high growth rate, or hitherto unexplored resources yield a high growth rate and set in motion expansionary forces elsewhere in the economy. And set in motion expansionary forces elsewhere in the economy. Unquote. So ये sectors होते हैं जो दूसरों को grow में करने में मदद करेंगे. So primary growth sectors are those where possibilities for innovation or exploration of newly profitable avenues or hitherto unexplored resources yield a high growth rate and set in motion expansionary forces elsewhere to the economy. Expansionary forces. जैसे कि for example लिखिए cotton textile industries in Britain. कॉटन टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्रीज इन ब्रिटेन इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन के वक्त आई थी. बहुत सारे लिंकेज थे इस इंडस्ट्री के. इसने रॉ मटेरियल को बहुत इंकरेज किया था, तो उससे एग्रीकल्चर बहुत इंकरेज हुआ था कॉटन का. और कॉटन टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री ने और दूसरे लिंकेजेस बहुत दिए थे, जैसे कि मशीन मेकिंग उसमें चाहिए थी, स्पेशली फॉर कॉटन टेक्सटाइल. तो उससे बहुत इम्पेचुअस मिलता है. एक्सपेंशनरी फोर्सेस है दूसरे लिंक्ड इंडस्ट्रीज उससे डेवलप हो जाते हैं. तो उसने कहा पहले तो ऐसे सेक्टर्स को डेवलप करिए जो कि एक्सपेंशनरी इन नेचर होते हैं और लिंक्ड होते हैं दूसरे से, ये प्रोडक्टिव इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है कंट्री का। बी लिखिएगा, सप्लीमेंट्री ग्रोथ सेक्टर। अब ये दूसरे सेक्टर होते हैं, ये सप्लीमेंट करेंगे, तो वो एक्सपेंशनरी थे, ये सप्लीमेंट्री ग्रोथ सेक्टर होते हैं। Rosto explained their supplementary growth sectors are those, quote करिएगा, where rapid advance occurs in direct response, where rapid advance occurs in direct response to or as a requirement of, in direct response to or as a requirement of advance in the primary growth sector. Advance in the primary growth sector. So where rapid advance occurs in direct response to or as a requirement of advance in the primary growth sector. ये consequence होते हैं primary growth sector के. So these sector develop as a consequence of a primary growth sector. तो जैसे कि as I was saying, cotton textile industry in Britain was linked and was responsible for various industry. तो वही example लिख लीजिए, cotton textile industry in Britain led to the development of coal, iron and engineering industries. उसमें कोल की भी जरूरत पड़ेगी, आयरन की एंड इंजीनियरिंग इंडस्ट्रीज। तो ये सप्लीमेंट्री ग्रोथ सेक्टर्स हैं, ये सप्लीमेंट करेंगे मेन सेक्टर को। तो प्राइमरी ग्रोथ सेक्टर को सप्लीमेंट करने के लिए these sectors are there, so coal, iron and engineering industries. इसके बाद तीसरा सेक्टर होता है डिराइव ग्रोथ सेक्टर। अब डिराइव ग्रोथ सेक्टर का काम है ग्रोथ को डिराइव करना। सो रोस्टो opines that, quote करिएगा, derived growth sectors are those where advances occurs in some derived growth sectors are those where advances occurs in some fairly steady relation to the growth of total real income. Population. Derived growth sectors are those where advance occurs in some fairly steady relation to the growth of total real income, population, industrial production, or some other overall modestly increasing variable. Population, industrial production, or some other overall modestly increasing variable. Example: agriculture, industrial housing, transport. Agriculture, industrial housing, transport, social overhead capital are all example of derived growth sectors. Okay, so 3 sectors, and in next class I'll be adding more to these slides because there is a diagram also, and then we will discuss further. There is still many things left in the takeoff itself. Then I'll go to the other stages. That's it for today, girls.